At the end of episode 7, I let you guys know that we decided to blow the budget and do underpinning in the basement. This is my first time being down here since they've started it and almost completed the majority of the actual pinning itself. So this is a huge difference. Not only are the ceilings insanely high, but the space just looks so much more open now. I posted on Instagram that we were underpinning now, and I asked you guys, what would you have done knowing that it was a significant cost? Everybody said that they either did it or would do it, and one person actually said that they didn't do it when they had the opportunity and they regret it now. So that just made me feel like we made the right decision. Underpinning is a process of digging out structurally to ensure that we are going down in height, but also maintaining the structural integrity of the house. So it's done in sections typically of 3. The walls are divided into section 1, section 2, section 3. Everything that's marked section 1 gets dug out, pins get put in. Everything section 2 gets dug out, pins put in, section 3, so that you're not ever compromising the structural integrity of the house. So it's gonna be, I would say, close to about here with our finished floor height, which, like, even if I'm standing on here, like, insane. So a few more inches up than where I'm standing now, but still, like, such a huge difference from where we were. The waterproofing actually has to get redone. As you can see, it doesn't go all the way to the floor now. So that is something that we unfortunately just have to eat the cost of. It has to get redone. We bricked up one of the windows that's gonna be where the new bathroom is. We put a new window opening on this side of the house where the bedroom is going to be. The reason why we bricked up that is because we have extended our porch on the main floor. So there wasn't going to be a ton of natural light coming through anyways. So I am just like thrilled. Between the extra ceiling height on the 3rd floor and the extra ceiling height in the basement, honestly, it feels like we have like double the amount of space in the house now. Hey, my love. We have Fraser back on site today. A little cameo by the one and only. Today I'm asking about our decision to upgrade our roofing material to cedar. We had originally had it quoted, and when we got the number back, it was one of the first things that we cut from the budget. Then we had landed on a mix of like asphalt shingles, torch down roof, standing seam on the dormers I think we were doing. And we had kind of like made our peace with it, and then all of a sudden, you kind of like brought it back to life. What happened?
I brought it back to life because once we started to really look at how many different roofing products we would have, a flat roof, shingles, I think copper was included.
Yeah, copper.
I think it just became this medley of different roofing materials. We always knew that the neighborhood, the charm of the area was largely driven by the roof lines with cedar on it, and we really always wanted that, and it just felt like the right investment to make.
And I think too, like, we were looking at the elevations on the drawings, and we were seeing like how many different perspectives of the roof and of the dormers that you were gonna see, and it kind of just felt like almost like we were Frankensteining it a little bit. We're actually in the process now of looking at 2 quotes. A 3rd one's coming in for cedar on the roofs and down the sides of the dormers. So what's really cool about that is you'll be able to see the cedar when you're looking at the house, like from the street. You'll see it on the sides of the dormers, and on this side where we're putting the stairs, the cedar's gonna run from the top all the way down to the ground.
It's really gonna tie in the whole project and just make it look like it was designed holistically from the ground up. And that's the look that was the look that we want. And listen, when it comes to budgets, I think it's all about taking a little bit of poison at a time instead of the poison pill all at once. So I can iteratively step into a bigger budget, and we don't want to make decisions that don't last for the next 20 years and age well, and cedar was the right investment.
One thing we both are like super aware of, cedar weathers over time. Like, it'll probably only take a year for the cedar to actually change color and start graying out. That's something that like you have to be okay with. Just the same as I love having natural stone in our houses as much as possible, and understanding that like they patina over time. Okay, so now that the pantry is framed and we can see the size of the kitchen and the size of the living room, I am debating potentially moving the pantry by like a foot or 18 inches towards the kitchen, shrinking the kitchen a little bit and making the living room a tiny bit bigger. Like, the kitchen looks massive, and we used to have a really long kitchen at our old house, and it was it was big, and this is like bigger than that. Do you think we should be shifting it?
I mean, I want to be cognizant that these rooms always look smaller before they're drywalled and they're completed. It does give me some vibes that it's a little micro, and as much as like most of our time is going to be spent in the kitchen, I am having some concerns with how this will all finish out.
Should we shift it just slightly?
Like bring it to this next...
Like bring it to the next stud almost. Take it, to like right... Yeah, maybe that stud, but I don't know, that only gives you another, you know.
I don't know if that gives you much.
I don't know if it's worth it. And, you know, one of the great things about having a team and a senior designer who is exceptional with CAD, we've already done the floor plan for this room. We already know that 2 sofas facing each other will fit, coffee table will fit. We want to make sure that we nail this now before
it's too late.
It's too late. So Fraser's on his way out now, and I'm laughing because he came for like a little quick cameo, and I wanted him to see the living room and make a call on that. And while he was here, we maybe ended up pushing our timeline and pushing our budget even further, and now investigating the option of dormering out the other side of the house.
Right thing to do is always the right thing to do, and it's all about decisions that age well. And I don't want to be a senior citizen in this house hating the things that we did in 2024. So now's the time to make big, bold bets and big investments on the right things that are going to make this a timeless home for us for years to come.
And I do just want to say too, it's kind of like a real life example of why you probably shouldn't undertake like a huge renovation if you are already pushing yourself to the absolute max financially. Always think it's better to save a little bit more, wait a little bit longer, because there are things that you can't anticipate needing to decide until you're actually in the middle of the project.
I'm happy I came here today.
And I'm happy you came here today too. The living room has taken on a few different design iterations as we've kind of progressed. Originally, I talked about doing just a fully plaster or lime wash fireplace with no mantle. What I'm gonna do on this side is 9 individual antique mirror panels that have grills essentially dividing them. So it's gonna look really, really cool and very like Parisian. When you're walking through the foyer, it's gonna be the first thing that you see. And so I think that's a really special feature. And then the more I was thinking about the fireplace and getting the feedback from you guys about whether we do plaster railings or metal railings, the more I'm thinking like, how much would you really see plaster in these old English homes? So what we've decided to do is a beautiful green stone mantle that's being made by my favorite mantle fabricator and supplier, Trumo Stones. What the plan is to do a Verdi LP green marble slab that is going to be fabricated into a beautiful mantle that's going to go there. I think I'll paint the drywall up above it, and then again we've got this window on this side, and I'll do like a pedestal with a nice planter. I'm standing in the powder room right now. The front entry area looks a little bit weird right now because we've still got these temporary stairs in, but don't forget the stairs are actually going to be over here. I am going to ask you guys for some help determining the flooring that I'm actually going to use. So as I'm sourcing for my clients for 2 big projects that we're working on now, I came across what I think is like the perfect floor tile for the powder room floor. Originally what my selection was 4 different colors of tumbled marble. It's going to do that in kind of like a checkerboard pattern. And then came across this beautiful mosaic that has multicolored inset diamonds or squares. That's just like, it just really feels perfect. It kind of mirrors a little bit what's happening in the front entry with the beautiful hex and dot tiles. It just was something I looked at and I was like, the jewel tones are rich. It just made me happy. I thought it was perfect. Immediately when I found this potential new floor, I sent it to my senior designer, Kimberly. Her and I agree on everything. And this was the first thing that she said, stick with the original, that I was like, oh man, I don't know. So I sent the new mosaic to my mom, who was like absolutely 100%. And I am really leaning towards it. So I would love to know, what do you guys think? Stick with the original or go with the new option? Okay, so we've pretty much finished up a few big decisions. I think we pretty much answered them though. Are we going to dormer out the other side of the house? It seems like the answer is a resounding yes. So now we just need to wait for the engineer to come in, tell us if the current beams that we just installed can carry the load of an additional ceiling height in that 3rd floor area. In the meantime, next steps for me is continuing to go through the sourcing process for furniture and accessories. I'm really excited to introduce you to some of the brands that I'm going to be looking to bring furniture in from, and really just take you guys through the next few steps as construction is hitting its stride. Do you work at PMD now?
Listen, like, I'm apprenticing right now. I'm certainly not on the payroll, but I hope to get there one day.
Me too.